living acknowledges that the land on which we gather is the ancestral territory of the Wiyot peoples. This territory extends to the communities throughout most of Humboldt County, and we honor the Wiyot peoples today. Oh. There we go. Okay, let's say this together and then turn to someone and say, I honor the path that brought you out of bed and here this morning. It starts with that. We are a welcoming community where the vibration of love lifts us, the wisdom of the ages inspires us, and the science of mind teaching empowers us. I honor the path that brought you out of bed and here this morning. And here is our weekly schedule. So take a little time to soak it up. There's something new on there in red. There's going to be a twice nice recap at 6 p.m. on Zoom. Monday, what did I say?
Was it supposed to be Tuesday? No, that's good. Okay.
Everybody happy? Anything to add? Jeff, changes? Yep. What does it mean? The twice nice recap? Does somebody want to explain it? Do them all now? Okay, great.
Many of the people that are volunteers have been volunteers for years, and we have a lot of new people that are moving into it, and we need to share our experience, make suggestions for our organizational structures. I volunteered to be the organizer for next year, and I would like to kind of start by making sure I understand everybody who's in the historic roles. And so that's what that's about. So join in on Zoom. If you have some notes, please bring them. We're going to talk mostly in list form, and we're going to skip criticisms because attentions can get a little wiggled, and that's humanity. We're not worried about human behavior. We're all working on it, aren't I? Well, okay, on another subject, we started a Red Cross volunteer closet in the women's bathroom next to the heater. And if you have any aids related to the bath chairs, crutches, Lori may have broken her foot yesterday. She had to borrow crutches from her neighbor. Old wrist, broken wrists, anything like that. You can just put it in there, and I just kind of suggested a sign-up sheet with your name, date, and your phone number, so we don't just lose these things. So that's one thing. The other is the kitchen has been a catch-all when we don't know where things go. So I put them all on the table. If you ever brought them here, it's time to take them home. If you know they belong to us, please let me know so we can put them back where they go. And the rest is going to heaven. So also when we put stuff away, people have a tendency not to want to understand the organization in the closets and the little drawers and under the pantry there and the dishes and paper goods and stuff. If you have a chance when you go in there and you're going for a napkin or a paper plate and you see it's a mess, take a second to organize, because I've been doing it and I'd like to share the wealth.
There was a question, how much did we make at the Twice Nice sale?
We're not finished yet because people are still bringing in money, but it's at least 10,000.
At least 10,000.
But, you know, when we take away, we had more expenses this year, because of the wonderful lunches and stuff like that. So, probably tomorrow, Catherine will get our figure and we can tell you next week.
Last week, we got $188 towards Twice Nice. Now, that was 2 weeks ago. Some of us are a little slow.
All right, the money is still coming in. So I would say tune in to the recap tomorrow night. Louise wants to charge interest for the people that are late. Okay, the Better Together group has a plan to go to the one-act plays at the Exit Theater in Arcata on Friday, June 28th. So if you're interested in that, quickly write down this website. It'll be in the newsletter. So read your newsletter.
We're also thinking about, instead of yelling, we're also thinking about going to dinner beforehand. We don't know where. So, and I was going to bring a sign-up sheet, but I didn't. So I know there's a piece of paper out there on the table with all the extra stuff. I might go and get that. Oh, wait. Oh, okay. Anyway, this is the series of plays with the one about Satan in it that Scott is directing. So that's why I picked this one. And he said there's more seats available. So make sure you get your tickets right away. Yes, Mark.
The one about a woman who orders
Satin, yeah. And has a visit. I think most of, yeah, and this is a one-act play. Each play is like 10 minutes long. The theater will, as you can see, is from 7 to 8:30. So if you want to go, we'll give you a piece of paper to sign up, but make sure tomorrow when you get your Monday newsletter, call and get your tickets right away.
So is it assigned seating or do we have to get there early so that we get good seats?
There's like 2 rows of chairs. There's really hard to get a bad seat.
Somebody just said there's what, 20 seats?
There's only like 20, 25 seats.
Or 30 maybe, yeah.
And I saw a thing that said, when I looked on the website like yesterday, I couldn't figure out how to get the tickets, but it said going fast. So
Yeah,
you know, like coordinate things, otherwise no one's gonna be.
yeah.
We just go over to Scott's house and do it.
What?
Just go to Scott's house and do it.
Well, actually, if I know how many people want to go, because it's next Friday, I will call Scott and say, will you check and see if we have this? Yeah. Who would like to go? So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 8. Oh, 8, sorry. Oh, 9. Great. Good. Okay, good. I'll just tell him 10 because somebody else
Okay, be part of creating our mural. And it's filling up, which is really nice to see. This will be over on the table. And you sign your name, and it's $22 a square, and then you put your initial on however many squares that you bought. And if there's any left over, Judy Little will pay the balance. But I don't think there'll be any left over. I think we're all going to
Make sure your check says mural on it.
make sure your check says mural, or if you donate online, indicate that it's for the mural, and I'll put this on the table. There's 164. June sale at the bookstore, 2 books by Andrew Newberg and Mark Waldman, who are the brain guys that write a column in the Science of Mind magazine. How God Changes Your Brain and Words Can Change Your Brain. 20% off. We all want to change our brains. So. The little pantry is always open to receiving new goods. It's really open. That means Mother Hubbard is going there and it's getting bare. And how about ramen? We still have a lot of ramen.
Oh, and the other thing is, I noticed that some people are dropping off big things, like somebody dropped off a big thing of ketchup. There's no way that somebody who's homeless can use that. Now, somebody.
Now, wait a minute. Ronald Reagan said that ketchup was a vegetable, so that would last them
Ketchup is a
week.
vegetable,
Yeah.
okay. But anyway, and also there's big bags, I mean, there's like a huge bag of spaghetti. There's some bags of beans and things like that. And I'm actually thinking about putting those out. And if somebody wants them, they could buy them. And then that money will go toward buying more stuff for the.
So maybe I'm confused on it. This is only for homeless people that we're putting food out?
No.
For our community, people are struggling.
But mostly it's been homeless people. I mean, one day I saw somebody in a car come up and, open the door and take a whole bunch of stuff, and I said to them, why don't you just take a few things, this is for the community. And she was kind of upset that I said that. But yeah, maybe somebody who has a home will take the beans or whatever. But normally the larger bags of things just get left in there. So,
I've seen kids coming home from school.
taking the candy,
Granola bar.
yeah.
And then they put the papers in my trash, in my bushes.
Oh,
In my trash, in my bushes.
there's nothing I could do about that.
Individual.
Pop top cans are best.
This month's theme is Holy Boldness. And I thought of a boldness story that I heard. And it was about a small little timid man. And he was taking a flight from Arcata to Los Angeles. And he booked his seat next to the window. So he was all excited and he was snuggled in. And he was looking forward to a good flight. When up comes this big, burly, hairy, scowly guy. Argh! He plunks himself down in the seat next to him. The guy goes, good morning. And he goes, Rah! And he goes, okay. So he just looks out the window for the whole flight. And as they're starting to land, the pilot comes on and goes, we're experiencing a little turbulence, wind shear factor of 9.5 coming from the southeast. So we're going to have a little bit of a bumpy landing. Please make sure your seatbelts are fastened and hold on to your butt. Okay. So the little guy's, oh no, turbulence, I can't stand turbulence, it makes me sick. So sure enough, there's turbulence, and sure enough, he starts feeling sick, and he looks around, and the window doesn't open, he can't use that, and he looks down, and he's brought his little dog, and he doesn't want to do anything to her, and the only place left is the guy next to him, and he can't hold it, and he can't find the bag, and they land, boom, 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 and he upchucks on the guy next to him, all over his chest. Well, the plane lands. Taxis up to the gate. Big guy finally wakes up and looks down. And he looks at the little guy next to him. And the little guy goes, feel better now? So that's the best example of boldness I can think of. Now, after that disturbing image, we're going to have a moment of peace to make up for it, with Michelle Campreth and Jackson Eldridge.
Well, that's a tough one to follow. All right, well, we're going to switch gears here and go into our
Moment of Peace meditation. And I have a short reading from Braiding Sweetgrass by Robin Wall Kimmerer. And it's about gratitude and just seeing the gifts and everything that is around us. And she was taking a workshop using black birch, and they were making these thin splints to make the basket. And the guy that was leading the workshop was reminding the participants that the birch they cut down for the baskets was 30 years old, and that the tree had given its life so that they could create these baskets. And it was just a really neat example of things that we use every day have been living, and what we're taking their lives so that we may live. So anyway, she says, what would it be like, I wondered, to live with that heightened sensitivity to the lives given for ours, to consider the tree in the Kleenex, the algae in the toothpaste, the oaks in the floor, the grapes in the wine, to follow back the thread of life in everything and pay it respect. Once you start, it's hard to stop, and you begin to feel yourself awash in gifts.
I'm quiet, I'm calm, I'm at ease. I'm quiet, I'm calm, I'm at ease. Right here and right now, I'm at peace with myself. I'm quiet, I'm calm, I'm at ease. I'm quiet, I'm calm, I'm at ease. I'm quiet, I'm calm, I'm at
And as we inhale, I invite us all to take that calm, that quiet, that ease, that peace of spirit that is within us and move it entirely through our bodies. I know that we are awash in the light and the love of God, this love of spirit that infuses each and every one of us, that infuses all beings, connecting us as one. And today, as we come together for this service either in person or on Zoom, I know that we are in the right place at the right time, and that we will hear the perfect message that our hearts wish to hear. And I know this service unfolds in its right and perfect way, and so it is.
Right here and right now, I'm at peace with myself. I'm quiet, I'm calm, I'm at ease. I'm quiet, I'm calm, I'm at ease.
Well, this morning we have our wonderful Rick St. Charles. Are you doing the talk? I thought because of that slideshow you were. Just disregard what I just said. Okay, we have the other wonderful Reverend Angelica. You don't like me anymore.
Good morning, everyone, and Zoomers as well. We've been talking about living a bolder life, and it's interesting to think about that. You know, what does it mean to really live bolder, to be more out there and be more real, more true to yourself? And so we've talked about various things so far up to this point. And today I'm going to talk to you about living higher and higher. And what does this mean? Well, to me, living higher and higher is moving into a greater vision of who you are and what your purpose is. Moving into a place where we feel the expanded consciousness that we're all working on having. Moving into a place where we start to see the face of God in everybody. And one of the things I realized in moving into this place is that if we're always walking around with a downward gaze, or if we're always thinking negative thoughts, we can't lift our vision or our expectations. And it made me start really listening to people this past week, like at the grocery store even, and different places where I found that the little bits of conversation that I was overhearing, not much of it was positive. And it made me want to go up and shake people. You know, stop it right now. You know, start thinking, look at what's good in your life. For me, one of the ways to get out of that negative space and into a more positive space is through gratitude. Start going, okay, I don't want to do this. What am I grateful for right now? And start counting my blessings. Didn't we hear that as a little kid? Count your blessings, count your blessings, count your blessings. And it works. It really does work. So what I know is that as we count our blessings, we begin to realize that we have unlimited potential. Absolutely unlimited potential. Yet, in order to get there, we have to remove those hidden beliefs we have about ourselves. And so that's part of what the science of mind is all about, is change your thinking and change your life, right? If I've always thought that I'm not enough, then that's what I'm going to experience, is not being enough. And maybe I won't, nobody else will notice that I'm experiencing that, but I will experience it because that's what I'm believing. A lot of us don't believe that other people are enough. It seems to me that the game of gossip seems to be really prevalent in the world, where people are always talking about other people, whether we see it on television or we're seeing it in the grocery store. And so I decided a while ago that I didn't want to gossip about anything. And you know, that's really hard. It's like somebody else talk about somebody and I'll go, because I'll have something to add to that conversation. But unless it's positive, I don't want to add it. I don't want to play that game anymore because I'm just adding to negativity. And there's so much negative energy right now in our world that why should I add to it? Or why should I play that game? Dr. Raymond Charles Barker admonishes us. This is in The Power of Decision. In our very first class, somebody pointed this statement out. Our first class was last week. Dr. Raymond Charles Barker admonishes us to watch our alibis, stop glorying in our martyrdom, refrain from indecision, and cease being satisfied in complacency. Stop glorying in our martyrdom. You know, I recognized something about myself the other day. After reading that, I suddenly went, oh my God, because somebody will ask me how the cruise was, and the first thing I tell them is about getting sick and being quarantined for 3.5 days. I don't tell them about, oh, well, we saw these beautiful mountains, we saw Denali, we did this, we did that. My first thing that I think about is being quarantined. I'm glorying in my martyrdom, right? The other ones were refrain from indecision and cease being satisfied in complacency. So I wonder how many of you do that, glory in your martyrdom. I mean, we tend to, illness seems to be a place where we do it. Well, and I've also told the story a lot about having COVID in March and then getting sick on the ship and then, coming home and getting that lung thing, right? So I've got a lot of martyrdom going on. However, as we grow in consciousness, we begin to notice our growth and that we are beyond where we used to be. And let me tell you something about the science of mind. You never stop growing. If you stop growing, give yourself a little kick in the butt and get to a class or do something so that you motivate yourself to keep growing, because it's so easy to slide down into what you were doing before, going back into the glorying in your martyrdom, for instance. So we go beyond where we used to be in how we react to things. And the other thing I notice is that our intuitive abilities seem to get stronger. All of us are intuitive. We know that because the phone will ring and we go, oh, that's Mother. And we pick it up and instead of going, oh, hi, Mom, we go, hello. But it ends up being Mother, right? But so we've all had intuitive moments. Well, one of the things I think about intuition is that intuition is like a little device that's been planted in our minds so that we could hear the voice of the divine. The voice of the divine has got to be immense. I mean, if it's everywhere present, right, then it's got to be immense, so we can't hear it unless we filter it down through something, and I think it's our intuition that does that. And so that our intuition protects us. It leads us into new places that are fun. You know, it does all kinds of things. So we hear our intuitive voice more often. I have this feeling that as we allow ourselves to pay attention, that the climb up this road to expanded consciousness becomes easier. One of the things I used to think about this road was that it didn't, meander through the valleys and all that kind of stuff. It was more like stairs. You climb stairs and you climb stairs, and sometimes they're a little difficult because they're steep, and then you get to this plateau, right? You get to a flat part, and you're like, yes, I made it. Oh, I'm so conscious. And guess what? Another set of stairs appears. And so you get to climb those. And every level of those stairs is some lesson that we're here to learn, something that will help us on our road. And then we get to the next plateau, and yes, I'm conscious. And then another step appears. And this, I think, goes on until the end of our experience in this particular dimension. So how do we move to these higher steps, these places in consciousness that we want to go to? Well, one of the things I know is that everybody's going to do it differently. Everybody's going to do it according to their understandings, their uniqueness, let's say. And it depends on how we embrace it. So some people embrace moving to a higher consciousness through meditation. Some people chant. I was talking to a friend the other day who leads Sufi dancing, and so she feels really like doing those dances really helps her to move into a higher consciousness place. So, with every religion in the world, you'll find some method that they teach that helps you expand your consciousness. Now, what do we teach here? We definitely teach meditation. We believe in meditation. We believe in spiritual mind treatment, and we believe in affirmations. Those are our 3 tools to move higher and higher and higher. I want to share with you something that came in the East Hawaii newsletter. That's the church I started 38 years ago. Oh, God, that sounds like a long time. I'm not that old, am I? Anyway, so these are the 5 steps of spiritual mind treatment written in the style of Dr. Seuss. And guess what? It's written by Chat GPT. I didn't know that Chat was as amazing as it is. And so I've been playing with it lately. So actually, though, this was presented during, the Hawaii Church has a moment where somebody gets to do something like our moment of peace. And this was by a guy named Adam Lightplay on last Sunday. Okay, are you ready? The 5 steps of spiritual mind treatment. Recognition. You see, my dear friend, it's a marvelous sight. There's one source, one power, shining so bright. This force is within, around, and above. It's all that exists, the purest of love. Second step, unification. Now let's take a moment, just stop and reflect. You are one with this power. You're one, I suspect. No separate being, no far-off retreat. You're part of this oneness, a truth so complete. Step 3, realization. Now here's where the magic truly begins. Affirm what you wish. Let's see those grins. Health, joy, abundance, and all that you crave. Declare it, affirm it, be strong, be brave. Step 4, thanksgiving. Oh, gratitude, gratitude. Oh, what a gift. Thank you, dear universe, for this wonderful lift. Give thanks in advance for all you've received. In your heart of your being, it's already conceived. Step 5, release. Finally, dear friend, let go and release. Trust in the process. Feel the sweet peace. You've done all you can, now let it unfold. With faith in your heart, watch miracles unfold. There you have it in Seussian rhyme, the 5 steps of treatment for a life so sublime. I will put it in tomorrow's newsletter, in Monday's newsletter. I just thought it was wonderful. And I also was amazed that he could type something in, give me the 5 steps of spiritual mind treatment as according to Dr. Seuss, and get something like that. I mean, that's just amazing. I'm actually going to use it next week. What, Mark?
I suggest you do that with different points from the religion and make a series of little books for kids.
Oh, that'd be good, yeah. Go for it. Your idea, do it.
I don't use ChatGPT, I make up my own stuff.
It's easy. You just write ChatGPT in the search. I used it to try to see what it would tell me about the Bill of Rights, the Constitution, and the Declaration of Independence for next Sunday, because it'll be just after, no, the Sunday after next, right. Anyway, it was amazing, just amazing. Anyway, so also in expanding our consciousness, we transcend where we are to where we want to be through caring and appreciating each other. I love the phrase, the beloved community. And I was thinking this morning as I was making my bed that I love Sundays. You know, a friend of mine who lives in Washington texts me every day at 8 o'clock and says, you know, happy whatever it is, you know, it's just one phrase. And so I, of course, find a really neat little picture and write back today, happy Sunday. And that started me in thinking about how much I love what I do and how much I love coming here on Sundays and being with all of you. And when we do that, as we do this, we are also lifting ourselves up. What I noticed is that what I wrote here was, we transcend where we are to where we want to be through caring for and sharing with each other, through forgiveness practices, and through doing our own work so that we each heal and stop hurting one another. In that hurting one another, I was again thinking about this idea that we talk about each other in weird ways. And I want us to make an inner agreement this week. I don't know if you ever do your homework assignments, but here's another one. Luckily, you're not getting graded. I want us to pay attention to what we're saying. I really want us to listen to our own talk, self-talk as well as outward verbal talk. Because who do we beat up on the most? Yep. That's who we beat up on the most. But then we take it out into the public, and like I said earlier, we do a lot of gossiping. We talk about people in ways that aren't necessarily nice. So the word gossip has a really interesting etymology. It comes from, I don't remember what language, but it used to be God speak. Now, where did it turn from God speak to rudeness? To talking about people in weird ways. So I'm going to ask you, if you want to gossip, I'm planting the seed in your mind right now, think about it being God speak. And say something nice. It reminds me, and I've used this example before, of when I used to work at a different kind of job, when I used to be the accounting manager for a company in Glendale, California. We'd walk into the break room, and inevitably, somebody was talking about somebody. You know, did you see this, or did you hear what so-and-so said, or whatever? And I remember they were talking about this one newer employee who had come in, and somebody said something about they couldn't believe that they dressed the way they did. It was a heavier lady who dressed rather seductively. And so they were, you know, oh yeah, did you see, all these women in the break room were having this conversation. And I walked in and I stood there, I poured my coffee and I listened for a minute, and I said, yes, that might be so in your eyes, but have you ever noticed that she is the first person to greet people as they come into the office? Have you ever noticed? I mean, I just started listing things that I really liked about her. And then I saw a few blushes as people realized, oh, okay. And so I invited them at that time to stop spending their 20-minute break talking about other people unless they did it positively. We could build people up rather than tear people down. So, Dr. Holmes writes in Richer Living, communion with the Spirit is one of the greatest privileges of life. By communion, we mean silently entering into divine harmony and beauty until we feel that harmony and beauty in our own souls, in our own minds. Communion with the Spirit is one of the greatest privileges of life. We know how to do that now. Probably always did, but forgot as we grew up. I remember as a kid, I talked to everything. Didn't talk to people that much, but I did talk to plants and animals, particularly animals. But to me, as a little tiny kid, everything was alive. And it was really funny. I never really noticed that I did that. I mean, to me, it was natural. But when I was older, I remember I was walking with my mother. We had gone to see my brother at some scout jamboree or something, and I'm walking with my mother, and I said something about the pretty flowers in the parking lot, and she goes, "You've always known this esoteric stuff." And she said it sort of rudely, but I thought, wow, I have. And it's an interesting place to live when nobody else does. That's why I like Science of Mind so much. I mean, I fully felt when I walked into a Science of Mind church in 1980, I thought, I'm home. And I know so many other people feel that as well when they walk into one of our centers. I'm home. Because suddenly it awakens and touches a part of you that has been wanting to be awakened and wanting us to awaken to it and be touched by it forever. We didn't become divine beings when we started learning this stuff. We've always been divine beings. Unique, individualized expressions of the one. And it's really, this is a way of living boldly, about remembering that and about remembering it about everybody, no matter how they act. I was going to say something political, but then I decided not to. Again, I'm going to say, by extending our reach now in new ways, we can continue to rise up and we can help others to rise up. We can embrace this infinite spectrum of God's greatness that is absolutely everywhere. Absolutely everywhere. And I'm going to repeat this comment that Dr. Holmes wrote again. Communion with the Spirit is one of the greatest privileges of life. By communion, we mean silently entering into divine harmony and beauty until we feel that harmony and beauty in our own souls, in our own minds. So I'm going to ask you this week, let's live higher and higher by doing our spiritual work. Thank you. Let's see, we want our affirmation. Oh, where's the affirmation? There we go. All right, let's take a breath and say this together. And Michelle's been writing them this month, so they're really good. Not that they aren't other months, but they're, As I fully embody spirit, I expand my consciousness and my horizons, growing and expanding out into the entire sphere of creation. And let's go into spiritual mind treatment or affirmative prayer, whatever you want to call it. How grateful I am for this experience to remember. To remember that there's only one life, that life is God's life, that life is perfect, and that life is the life that we're living right now. How grateful I am to remember that absolutely everything that I see, that I feel, that I hear, that I experience, that I touch, that I taste, everything is divine. And so speaking for all of us in the first person, I now choose to experience life in a new way. I let myself be bold and realize that all there is spirit. All there is this divine energy. And this divine energy is infinitely intelligent and unconditionally loving. So I know that as I walk through my life, it's spirit walking this life. As I see other people, it's spirit walking their lives as well, even though I might not agree with it. Spirit is absolutely all that there is. Divine energy is all that there is. And so I now declare that all the divine energy that I see and experience is good. Something higher, something greater, something wonderful is coming out of absolutely everything. And so as I walk my personal spiritual path this week, I let myself experience life in a greater way. I step out boldly and declare, this too is God. This too is God. This too is God. And I know that as I do this, all life reflects that back to me. I change my thinking and I change my life. Or as Jesus and other great masters said, it's done unto me as I believe. And I choose to believe the highest good that I can possibly believe. I choose to be bold and step out and expand my consciousness, remembering who I am. And this is a good thing. It's a God thing. So with a grateful heart, I release these words into law, knowing that they're already so. And so it is. And now Rick is going to share a gift of music with us. So thank you very much, Rick.
James, could you go ahead and kill the lights?
I can do that.
Thank you. I thought. Thank you.
I'll just turn them off.
Okay, that's good. This is a song I wrote in 1983, and we performed it at the center in that year, or in 1984, I don't remember. It's been a little while. In Science of Mind, we teach that to demonstrate something, you first have to have a mental equivalent of it. You have to see it and feel it. And so we spend a lot of time talking about peace in the world. And I thought, well, what would that look like? if everybody lived in harmony, which is what we want, we pray for. So I wrote the song, Heavenly World. And Lisa and I recorded it in our home studio with a woman that used to come here with an angelic voice. Her name was Cheryl Gibbs. And so we recorded that with guitar and bass. And then we were slated to sing it in church, and I thought it needs something more. It had verses and choruses, but it didn't have a bridge. Bridge is one of those little breaks in the song that takes you to another place. So I wrote a bridge for it. And when we recorded it in the church, Jackson played the piano. I didn't play guitar, I didn't play bass, and the three of us sang. So I'm going to sing along, mostly my part, but it might vary, with this song called Heavenly World. Hit it, Marvin. Can we stop and back up and add the music? It needs the music.
Yeah, it was working really good earlier.
Yeah. This starts in outer space, and you really need that music. Then it comes into Earth.
You need to tell another joke.
Give me a topic.
Bring the jokes up.
What?
Bring the jokes up.
Oh, wait a minute. Jackson gave me 3 pages of jokes, or I'll get it. Just pretend I'm here at the microphone and don't tell Scott that I'm abandoning it.
How many members of CSL does it take to? How many members of CSL walk into the bar?
Okay, these are actual comments made by South Carolina troopers that were taken off their car videos. You know, stoplights don't come any redder than the one you just went through. Relax, the handcuffs are tight because they're new. They'll stretch after you wear them a while. If you take your hands off the car, I'll make your birth certificate a worthless document. If you run, you'll only go to jail tired. You don't know how fast you were going? Well, I guess that means I can ride anything I want to on the ticket. Yes, sir, you can talk to the shift supervisor, but I don't think it'll help. Oh, did I mention that I'm the shift supervisor? Warning? You want a warning? Okay, I'm warning you not to do that again, or I'll give you another ticket. The answer to this last question will determine whether you're drunk or not. Was Mickey Mouse a cat or a dog? Fair? You want me to be fair? Listen, fair is a place where you go to ride on rides, eat cotton candy and corn dogs, and step in monkey poop. Redwood Acres Fair is going on right now. I didn't see any monkeys, so. Yeah, we have a quota. 2 more tickets and my wife gets a toaster oven. No, sir, we don't have quotas anymore. We used to, but now we're allowed to write as many tickets as we can. I'm glad to hear that the chief of police is a personal friend of yours, so you know someone who can post your bail. And the winner is, you didn't think we gave pretty women tickets? You're right, we don't. Sign here. Scorch, pow. We're ready? Okay, thank you, Marvin. Let it roll. Thank you, Jackson, for the jokes.
Came the day when the people of earth awoke to the beauty and peace within them. Everyone decided to create a world of light and love and warm yellow meadows.
There were poems and purple flowers. There was song and lots of laughter. Everyone decided to create a world of life and love. Heavenly world is coming to us. Heavenly world is here now. Heavenly world is coming to us. It's so near now, so near now. It's here now, it's here now. It's so near now, so near now. It's here now.
There were folks from other lands who came to share their happiest feelings.
Everywhere you looked, you saw a bouquet of flowers, hummingbirds, giggling grandmas. There were smiles and loving hugs. There was punch and slices of cheeses. People played guitars and talked of how they need a song to sing.
Next Sunday afternoon,
Heavenly world is coming to us. Heavenly world is here now. Heavenly world is coming to us. It's so near now, so near now. It's here now, it's here now. It's so near now, so near now. It's here now. Flying kites, soaring high, crystal clear blue skies. Heavenly voices in the night. It's a new world, a new world. The true world, the true world. It's a new world, a new world. The true world, the true world. It's a green and blue world. There was always room for all. People shared what they felt like giving. Some did the gardening and some sold clothes, and someone told a story about the man in the moon. Coming to us, heavenly world is here now. Heavenly world is coming to us. It's so near now, so near now. It's here now, it's here now. It's so near now, so near now. It's here now, it's here now. It's so near now, so near now. It's here. Thank you, thank you. Thank you, Lisa and Cheryl and Jackson. I don't know what's next.
The offering.
The offering, okay. I have to join Jackson. Yes, because I'm gonna play while you're
Okay.
doing the offering. You can take it out from here.
What?
You'll take the rest.
Yes, I got it.
Great, thank you.
Okay. So let's think about the offering that we're going to be giving this morning. And thank you, too, for being the offering takers. And let's say our affirmation. I gratefully give from the fullness of my abundance, knowing my gift blesses the center, all in it and beyond, and so it is. gratefully we acknowledge these gifts and tithes. We know that they prosper us in the giving, just as the center is prospered by the giving, and we celebrate them. And so it is. So who would like to read our statement of inclusion this morning? Anybody?
I'll do it.
Oh, thank you, Louise. Here it is right here.
We, the Eureka Center for Spiritual Living, are a community that celebrates diversity, fosters inclusion, champions inner work, and creates space for brave, vulnerable conversations. We are a community that honors the unique emanation of God that each person embodies and advocates with people for human rights and dignity for all. We are a community that blesses each other, sees sacredness in all life, remains learners and listeners so we may grow together and understand that oneness is not sameness. And together, we know our beloved community is revealed more fully when we love each other well.
Yes.
Yay, thank you, Louise. All right, it's past 11, so let's not have any demonstrations this morning. Let's stand up and somebody else can lead the peace song, or we can just lead it all ourselves. Yeah, right.